So today's episode is going to be a little different for two reasons. The first reason is I've hurt my knee and I'm on a desk for a little while it heals. The second reason is because I wanted to take some time to answer a really good question. Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a frontline cop at the Mount Wellington Police Station, and this is Ride Along. It was one of the first questions on my first video, and it's a big one. So here we go. Family violence.
Receiving, go ahead.
The male part is currently smashing up a house. He's about to smash up the vehicle as well.
Family violence is an unfortunate reality for far too many New Zealanders, and as a result, it's a pretty big part of policing too. About 41% of your average frontline cop's time is spent on family violence, but that stat is from 2016. I know the number of calls aren't going down, and out in the suburbs where I am, it's probably a little higher than average too.
Flags, gang alert, killer bees. Multiple family violence.
Like everyone I work with, I'm passionate about making some change, and our organisation has put a few tools up our sleeve to get the job done. It starts with our training. At college we get instruction from our sergeants, but we also get instruction from partner agencies who explore the reasons why and how family violence happens. We do a lot of scenario work at police college as well, and most of those jobs are built around family violence scenarios, so we can get some practice making those decisions before we hit the streets. So, how do we actually attend them? Well, it's kind of a tough question to answer because it all depends on the kind of call we get. Some calls come in from neighbours, some calls come in from victims, some from children, and sometimes both people involved in an argument call us. Some situations have us kicking in doors and making arrests, and others call for long conversations and negotiated compromise.
Please, open up!
But while the jobs might differ, our responsibility doesn't. Our responsibility is to keep people safe, to minimise violence, to minimise harm. So we get in there and we stop the violence. And then once everybody's safe, we can start investigating, trying to figure out why and how this has happened. Once that initial situation is dealt with, we look to make a safety plan for the immediate future. It might be as simple as someone going for a walk to cool down, or might be as complicated as arrests being made and people being relocated to refuges and other facilities. So a lot goes into a family violence call-out. So I thought I'd sit down with Sergeant Tim Stevens, who's in charge of one of the prevention teams that pick up from where frontline leave off when we attend a family violence incident. So Tim, Sergeant Stevens, tell me about your team.
Tim's fine. I've got a fantastic team. Typically they have got somewhere between 6 and 10 years experience, so I've got the luxury of working with guys who are passionate, guys and girls who are passionate about family harm. They're passionate about making a change to some of the lives that we come across, and they are also passionate to making sure that wherever possible, we're not just supporting whānau to make a change, but we're also holding people to account. Because there's no way that we want to be doing to miss out on the opportunity to hold offenders to account. If people have done the wrong thing, then we need to work through the court system and make sure that they are held accountable for their actions.
Now, all kinds of legislation comes into effect when we deal with family violence, but a big one for frontline cops is Part 6A of the Domestic Violence Act 1995, which covers off police safety orders. If you haven't heard, a police safety order is kind of like a temporary protection order. It gives us the power to take an aggressive or violent person out of the home for up to 5 days and prevent them from having access to their family.
What the f*** you even here?
Lots of things influence our decision to issue a police safety order, but the biggest practical concern is keeping people safe. Once someone's been given a police safety order, they have to leave.
Someone runs in here.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back, please.
But we have to think about their safety as well, and there aren't always a lot of places to go at 2 or 3 in the morning after a big family breakdown. If you're a man who's been served a police safety order, Gandhi Nevis is a charity group that offer a place for you to go.
People are suffering from lack of food, they're dealing with substance abuse issues, there's poor living conditions. Gandhi Nevis takes some massive steps to fix those issues straight away. The bound person can go there, they can have a shower, they can have a feed, they will get medical services if they need them, they'll get WINS advice, they'll get ACC advice. We might not be overly impressed with their initial behaviour, but it allows us to take them out of the family home, it allows them to get involved with the support services that they need, have a look at what is causing some of the issues at these family harm events, and then put in place long-term solutions and support to try and reduce the incidence of family harm.
The order is designed to give victims of family violence some space to make safe decisions about their future, to try and stop the cycle from repeating itself. But we know sometimes it does, which is why every time we go to a family violence call out, we treat it like it's the first time we've dealt with that family. And those investigations are undertaken with the same level of rigour the first time, the second time, and the third time, and so on. After all that is said and done, we finish our reports, which we now do on our phones, and submit them to our sergeants. Our sergeants then submit them to the family violence specialist teams, who go through every single family violence incident that takes place to make sure that the best decisions were made at the time. If you're out there and you're thinking about the police as a career, don't let that number scare you. You don't need to look much past your own street to find people in need. That's both helpful and a great challenge. I hope that answers your question about how we deal with family violence. Next week will be a lighter topic, but I'm not going to shy away from the tough questions, so if you've got one you want to ask, put it down in the comments and I'll do my best to get to it. See you later.